to Carissa to continue with us for this presentation.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Like Melissa said, my name is Carissa Martin, and I am your Education Success Manager. So I work with your amazing team with Prince George's County to provide this program to your students and to make sure that this software called Imagine Language and Literacy is available to help your students with their reading and vocabulary skills. I want to give you a little bit of background today about the program, how you can use it, why it's a great resource for your students, and I will also show you a few activities and samples of the program so you can see what your students will be doing or are currently doing if your students have already begun. Before we get started with the program, I want to take care of a couple of technology items. So this is a panel presentation, and you are currently muted, and you are not sharing your cameras. If you need to exit, there is the red X, red circle with the white X icon where you can certainly exit. You are a participant, and there is a Q&A option, a question and answer option on the right-hand side. If you click on the three dots, you will be able to type a question, and we will certainly have opportunities to pause the presentation and answer your questions. You are also able to raise your hand by selecting this hand icon. You can give feedback. If you would like me to repeat something, slow down, if you agree, you can use any of the feedback icons as well. And last but not least, this session is being recorded. So if you have a friend or family member who would like to review it, if you would like to review it, you certainly can do so, and the recording will be provided for you at a later date. This will be posted on the ESOL family site. We have a few language lines available. Here is the French line. If you have a question, you can certainly, and would like to pose it to everybody, you can certainly send a chat to everyone and post a message there. Before we close out for the evening, there will be several links that I'm going to post in the chat box. You can cut and paste these, or cut and copy these links and paste them onto your browser or another screen. These will also be available to you on your ESOL site as well. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. If you could stay until the end, I will put these links in the chat box. So, your students will access Imagine Language and Literacy by logging in through their Clever portal. We're going to watch a very brief video that will show you how your student logs in to Imagine Language and Literacy.
Once you've logged into your Clever, it will look something similar to this. You're going to want to scroll down. Do it slowly, just so you can see, until you see your Imagine Language and Literacy app. It's going to be in the ESOL section. You can click it to enter, but you can also hover over top of it and you'll see this little heart. You'll want to click the heart, and then you'll see that when you scroll to the top, it'll be quicker for you to find in the future. Once you've logged in.
Excellent. Does anyone, before we begin to dive into Imagine Language and Literacy, does anyone have any questions regarding how they log in? Okay, let's get started. So Imagine Language and Literacy is an adaptive learning solution that accelerates reading and language proficiency for students in grades pre-K through 6, with over 4,300 learning activities to engage and support students. We designed this program to supplement the core literacy instruction. The Imagine Language and Literacy program provides instruction and practice in all 4 domains of literacy. That's reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Its curriculum expands grades pre-K through 6, but it can be used with great success with newcomer students in grades 7 through 12. With Imagine Language and Literacy, all children receive explicit, targeted instruction within a personalized learning path that continually adjusts to their needs, both in foundational literacy as well as in basic and academic vocabulary. Imagine Language and Literacy explicitly teaches students the skills that are critical to reading comprehension and language proficiency. Excuse me, empowering them to unlock learning across all of their subject areas. Let's begin with a video.
Hi, I'm Zach. Your child will be using Imagine Language and Literacy. Imagine Learning has created a variety of resources for families to help support learning at home. Imagine Language and Literacy is a great way for children to develop their language and literacy skills using engaging games and activities to help them on their path to success in reading. Even better, children can access Imagine Language and Literacy from home in a few simple steps. First, your child will need to use a laptop, tablet, or desktop computer. Cell phones are not supported. Second, you will need to contact your child's teacher to receive student login credentials. To log in, we recommend you use Google Chrome to visit login.imaginelearning.com. Then, enter your username, password, and the district's unique site code. If your child's teacher didn't provide the login credentials, just click here and we will help you. If your child's school uses a single sign-on portal or dashboard, be sure to follow directions from the teacher. Third, if your child is logging in for the first time, they will see a test. This test is adaptive and will take more or less time depending on your child's responses. Your child will need to complete the test independently, as it will create a customized learning path with lessons that are tailored to their needs. Some questions will be easy for them, and some might be hard. If they get frustrated, just encourage them to do their best, as it is really important that they find the answer on their own, so they receive lessons that are just right for them. If your child needs to log out before the testing session is complete, the test will resume where they left off the next time. After the test, your child will see personalized lessons that are just right for them. And there's even language support in 15 languages if needed. If your child needs language support, contact their teacher. They will be able to change settings for your child so they receive instruction in the appropriate language. When your child completes activities, they will receive tokens in the program called Booster Bits that will let them customize an avatar and play games as they continue to develop language and literacy skills. As your child completes their work, it is extremely helpful if they have a set place and time to focus so they can meet their weekly goal. Their teacher will let you know what their goal should be. We look forward to partnering with you as your child uses Imagine language and literacy at home. More resources can be found at the link on your screen.
And you guys can still see my screen, okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Excellent. Okay. So there are three main components of our program that I would like you to be aware of. So the first component is our individualized learning. Students are placed in the program at the starting point of their grade level, and then their learning pathways are adjusted by different predictive and evaluative checkpoints throughout the program. These predictive and evaluative checkpoints acts as touch points, if you will, to see how much the student has already knows and how much the student has learned as they move along in their learning. The predictive checkpoint is like a pretest, where students can skip certain lessons if they demonstrate that they already know the material. An evaluative checkpoint is where the program looks at prior progress and determines if supplemental lessons should be inserted before a student moves on to the next topic. Students in the same class will be at different places as the program targets their particular needs. Next, our program is engaging and motivating. Our program is fun. Our mascot is a robot named Booster, and he awards booster bits as they successfully complete activities. Students use these booster bits to customize an avatar or to personalize a space in the Imagine Museum. Peer teaching videos, animations, music, art, and game-based practice activities all contribute to students' love of the program. Finally, you can have your students work on Imagine language and literacy anytime at home. We can show you at the end of this presentation how, if you are unclear or if you need to see that how to access through Clever Video again, we can certainly answer your questions about the students logging in. So here's a story about a student, and I love this student. This is a student named David. David is an ESOL student who came to school very below level, and after a few months in the program, he developed just a love of an excitement for learning that was just contagious. His teachers were so proud of him. Let's listen and watch.
My name is Jacobo, and I'm the English Learner Coordinator for the Cajon Valley Union School District. I've been an educator for the last 13 years. I've been a teacher, a reading specialist, a literacy coach, and now NEL coordinator. And really, this is the first time in my educational career that I'm able to identify a program that provides an individualized program that absolutely attends to their needs, that provides not only primary language support, but a level of scaffolding that we wouldn't be able to provide during regular instructional time.
One of the things that makes Imagine Learning such a success for us is that it's able to find holes in the children's education. The children immediately were able to pick up skills that we didn't even know they didn't have.
It's very fun to hear our principals and our teachers say how Imagine Learning is really having an impact on what kids are doing in the classroom. Our ELs are very bright. They're very interested in acquiring a level of education that allows them to be successful and allows their family to be proud of them.
My name is David Garcia. I play soccer, I play foursquare,
When David first started last year, we were kind of worried when we got him. He is barely reading at first grade level, K, first grade, decoding sounds. He doesn't write sentences. We had to give him a model and he would copy. And when he first started on Imagine Learning, we were like, oh, I don't know if he can do this. After using the program for about 9.5 months, he was able to decode at an early second grade level.
It was very exciting to report to our board that 17% of our EL participating in Imagine Learning were able to reach a level of basic or above on CST-ELA. We contribute a lot of that growth to what Imagine Learning has brought to our kids.
We were able to put the program in with all the students that are in our school. We had huge success with our 3rd through 5th grade.
It's just fantastic to be able to put in front of our kids a one-on-one tutor, basically, which is what we think we're providing with Imagine Learning.
Before this, there wasn't a lot of option for David Garcia. If we didn't find the key to him being able to decode and become much more proficient with his language, those doors are closed. And now they're open.
Awesome. So exciting. So we know the program works, and the program can just do wonders for your students. I know I've used it. My daughter is not an ESOL student, but she has really enjoyed working with the program over the years and has definitely seen gains in her learning. Just to recap, I know we heard it in the Welcome Families video, but just to recap that you can use Imagine Language and Literacy on a laptop, a tablet, or a desktop computer, and cell phones are not supported. So please make sure your child is working independently on any of the devices listed. As additionally, your students must use a Google Chrome browser when they are using the program. So I know in addition to being an educator, I am a parent as well. And when I get my hands on really good tools and resources that will help my children, I want to know what can I do? What can I do to help my kids? Well, make sure that if your student has not taken the benchmark, have them log on in the next as soon as possible, in the next day or two, by the end of the week, by Friday, preferably, if at all possible. If they have not logged on to Imagine Language and Literacy, please have them log on and complete the benchmark. As soon as your student logs on, they will begin the benchmark. That's all they have to do. It begins right away. Once they've completed the benchmark, begin with a routine. Having them work on a regular schedule for about 90 minutes a week. Consistency is key. The most growth you will see, that the greatest gains with the program will be recognized with consistent usage. If your student does need to use Imagine another language with Imagine Language and Literacy, please contact your teacher, and your teacher will certainly change their audio support. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that audio support. We call it the L1 fade. I'm going to show you how the L1 fade works to support your student and why we call it a scaffold and it's not a crutch, how it will encourage and motivate your student to, without having your student depend on it. Ask your student, as they're working on the program, ask your student to read stories they encounter aloud. Have them show you what they're working on and share their favorite stories and activities as they learn and grow. And of course, review the progress that your student is making with their teacher. Your student will be recording their readings, and your teacher can certainly share those with you. They're quite remarkable as the year progresses, to go back and hear those recordings from, September, October, as you get into November, December, January, to hear the progress that your students make. It's really cool. So we know you might have questions beyond tonight, and you might want to learn more. And we're always creating resources. We know, especially right now, while students are working from home more than what's happened in the past, we have resources that are just a click away. You can go on to imaginelearning.com/@help for a variety of parent resources. If you encounter technical support, you can go on to Imagine Learning customer care. You can call or text the support number. You can email, and you can go on to help.imaginelearning.com. We do have support staff who are bilingual and speak Spanish. So, one way that our Imagine Language and Literacy program individualizes the content for your students is that we deliver grade level content alongside our intervention strands for 3 standards. We compare and contrast literature, compare and contrast informational and text features. Your child can be working on grade level subject matter content at the same time that he or she is working on foundational skills in other areas. Your child's learning path is unique to him and her, and the program will add extra lessons or skip lessons based on his or her progress each day. The program adapts to your child, and as you as a parent or caregiver don't need to assign any lessons, the program takes care of delivering just the right activities to each student at exactly the right time. We really encourage students to utilize this program independently. We want to get the truest picture possible of what the student is able to do and needs some support, so the computer can create the just right pathway that will skip the things that the student knows and add additional support to work on skills that the student needs additional time with. Your child's teacher may also have selected and created or queued up certain activities for your child that supports things that are going on in their class or in their instruction, and that will automatically be enabled for your child. Let's watch a short video clip to introduce you to the Imagine Language and Literacy mascot, Booster.
Hi, I'm Booster. My job is to help you as you use Imagine Learning. In some activities, you'll earn booster bits when you answer questions correctly. You can tell how well you are doing by the color of the coin. The better you do, the more booster bits you'll earn. If you get all the answers correct, you'll get an extra blue booster bit. And keep a lookout for bonus purple booster bits. Once you earn enough booster bits, you'll be able to go to Imagine Museum, where you can build a character and create cool exhibits using your booster bits to buy items and much more. You can see what level you are on whenever you are in the museum. You can unlock new exhibits and items to buy by increasing your level. Now you're ready to use Imagine Learning. Let's go!
A couple of administrative pieces to the Imagine Museum. I call these the teachery facts. So as the students complete their activities, one student earns 1,000 booster bits. They qualify to go to the Imagine Museum, where they can build their avatars and play games. The museum has a 90-second time limit. And if students skip the opportunity to go to the Imagine Museum, they must accrue another 1,000 booster bits before they have the opportunity to visit it again. So they can't bank 10,000 booster bits and go and then and hang out in the Imagine Museum for like 15 minutes. It's a use it or lose it. So if the students have the opportunity to go into the Imagine Museum, definitely have encouraged them to take that brain break and go and have some fun. So let's get back to the first language audio support that I had mentioned. I called it the L1 fade. One of the ways that we scaffold up for our English language learners is by providing this first language audio support in 15 languages. When this is enabled, it provides audio support in a student's home language, yet the content of the activities will still be in English. So how does this work? Well, when the audio support is enabled in a student's profile, instructions are provided in the student's first language automatically the first time in any activity. During the second and third times, the student can hear the instructions in their own language if he or she chooses by clicking a translation button for translation support. First language support is then removed and instructions are provided in English unless the student times out, in which case the instructions are repeated again in the student's first language. In this way, the scaffolding is gradually removed but still reinstated as needed, implementing the notion of contingent instruction or gradual release. We refer to this as the L1 fade. Scaffold within Imagine Language and Literacy, it's just one of the ways that we scaffold up for learners. So here's a list of the 15 languages we provide audio support for within Imagine Language and Literacy. There are a few languages not listed here for which we have some printable resources, such as parent letters, and some printouts that teachers have access to. But this covers a pretty wide range of languages that you'll find in many schools. So for our students who are newer to English, their language development is really critical to their long-term success here at school. And the quicker they can pick up English, the sooner they will be able to learn from teachers and their peers. So here are 3 examples of activities that will help students that are newcomers to English. One of these examples is called Meet New Sounds. This is an example of how the program strategically supports newcomers with their first language. First language support can be an important bridge to English. It's under the control of the teacher as it is activated during student setup.
Meet new sounds. Acá tenemos algunos nuevos sonidos mágicos. Escucha con atención. Shh.
Shoes. Ship. Sheep. Shell.
¿Te diste cuenta de que todas las palabras empiezan con el mismo sonido? Todas empiezan con el sonido shh. Haz clic en las figuras para oír cada palabra otra vez.
Shoes. Ship. Shell. Sheep.
El sonido shh es un sonido nuevo. Muchas palabras en inglés tienen el sonido shh. Shoes. Ship. Sheep. Shell. Shh. Te toca.
We teach students the sounds English and their native languages share so they can transfer that knowledge when listening and speaking. We teach students new English sounds, asking students to produce them, modeled mouth. These are customized activities for the 15 languages we support. Listen up. In order for students to learn from the classroom instruction, listening comprehension needs to be a priority. Did you notice that students begin Notice that students will begin by listening, selectively listening for the subject, noun, in a sentence. Then they will listen for verbs and adjectives. The complexity of the listening text increases throughout. Let's take a listen to this activity.
Let's play Listen Up. You learned to listen for verbs when you hear people speak English. Are you ready to practice? First, listen carefully to the sentence. Then, choose the matching picture. I'll help you answer the first one. My mom is walking. My mom is walking. Walking is a verb. That's the key word I need to listen for to choose the right answer. Click here. Awesome! You're ready to answer on your own. Remember, listen for action words. Listen for verbs. The girl is swimming. Awesome! The dog is running. Awesome! My mom is cooking. No, that's not right. The boy is hiding. Great! My dad is smiling. Great! The monkey is jumping. Right! My mom is cooking. Right! Wow! Great find! Click, let's go!
Would you rock? A rock? Could you sock? A sock? Does a tap? Tap? Can a bat? Bat? Rock? Rock? Sock? Sock? Tap? Tap? Bat? Bat? Watch the words that you are reading. Some of them might have two meanings. Would you pound? A pound? Could the ground be ground? Can a shot be shot? Is a top on top? Pound, pound, ground, ground, shot, shot, top, top. Watch the words that you are reading. Some of them might have two meanings.
What do you mean activity alerts children to the quirks in the English language without discouraging them? We all know the tricky nuances of the English language, whether it's the word meanings or the spellings. Here are some of the student navigation icons that your students will encounter. You may have already seen them if your students have logged on. So this is the submit answer button, next question, repeat activity, repeat directions, let's go to the next activity, pause, and translate when the first language support or the L1 fade is enabled. The pause screen you will see during an activity if the student has to get up for a minute, walk away, go to the bathroom, they will pause, they can pause their screen and then come back and resume, or they can log out. So for your students who are learning how to read, there are some really great activities that will help with help them develop their foundational skills. Mega Mazels help students blend sounds to form decodable words. These words will be read in an upcoming beginning book. If the student has first language support activated, the student will hear a translation of the word as it appears in a context sentence. Losing my mouse. There we go.
Mega Mazels. Today you will practice reading words. Blend the letter sounds to read this word. First, click each mazel to find the correct word. Then drag the mazel that says the correct word here. Fig, big, big. Yes, big. When two of the same consonants are side by side, they make the same sound. O, as in shell. As in carry. And t, as in little. Blend the letter sounds to read this word. Tags, eggs, elms, eggs. Yes, eggs. Sit, pig. Yes, pig. You read all these words. Big, eggs, nest, pig. You earned 2 mazels. Let's look at your mazel collection.
The next activity I'm going to share with you, the read and records, are perhaps some of my favorites. The read and records captures students' fluency, which is an important component of reading. Students begin by echoing reading with a fluent model. They record each page, evaluate their reading, and decide whether to record again. At the end of the book, it is automatically read back to them in their own voices. Students hear themselves as fluent readers. The recordings are saved for teachers to analyze in each student's portfolio. The scaffold of a fluent model to echo is withdrawn as students progress. At that point, the model only occurs as a comparison with their reading. Students will also periodically read without any model for 1 minute as an additional check for their fluency. Teachers will also find these recordings in the student's portfolio.
Time to practice the book out loud. Frogs, eggs. Look, Matt, the frog has eggs. Now it's your turn to read. When you're ready, click record. Look, Matt, the frog. Frogs has eggs. Let's listen to how you read. Look, Matt, the frog. Frogs has eggs. Here's how I read. Look, Matt, the frog has eggs. Pam, look at the frog's eggs. Look, Pam, look at the frog's eggs. Look, Pam, look at the frog's eggs. Look, Pam, look at the frog's eggs.
And the last activity that we'll look at is the look and think. This is direct instruction on how to answer inferential questions. As important as foundational skills are, the purpose of reading is comprehension. That is always the focus of this program.
This question is tricky. It's an inferential question. For inferential questions, you do 2 things. Look in the story and think about what you know. Click here to see how to answer an inferential question. How does this girl feel about her teacher? A, she doesn't like her. B, she likes her clothes. C, she likes her. First, let's look in the book for something about a teacher. Look at this page. Goodbye, teacher. That doesn't exactly say how the girl feels about her teacher, so I think about what I already know. Let's think about giving gifts. Click here. I give gifts to people on their birthday, and when I'm saying goodbye to somebody I like and will miss. Aha! That's it! I give gifts to people I like. Choose the best answer. B, C. She likes her. Right. You looked in the book and you thought about it. That's the trick to answering inferential questions. You look in the book and you do your own thinking. Time to practice.